Alright, I read Jay Feels Silly and Other Moods That Make My Day by Jamie Lee Curtis to a group of 4 first graders at Easterly Parkway. Right whenever I got there, we split up into groups, and I got the 4, and I was sitting there, and I was telling them I was asking them about feelings, and then I showed them the book we were going to read. They were like, "Oh, we already read that book," and I was like, "Wonderful." But it actually didn't turn out too bad because they knew the book and they knew the words, so 2 of the 4 kids actually read along with me as I read the book, and they seemed to have known it really well, so I'm not sure if they had read it more than once or if they had only read it once. They knew it really well, though. So we read through the book, and they were really good whenever we read through the book. They just sat there and listened, and they were really quiet other than the 2 boys reading, but I didn't really mind that. They weren't interrupting or anything. So after we were done reading, we just talked about what moods the girl had in the book and what emotions she went through. And I asked them each to give me one emotion or one mood that one of the characters in the book had gone through, and of course they could all do this because they had already read the book before, so this is really easy for them. They even almost directly quoted some of the passages from the book, which was kind of funny. But after we talked about the book, I asked them to draw a picture. I actually showed them an example of a picture that I had drawn of how I felt, which was excited because of Penn State's win. And then I asked them to draw a picture of how they were feeling that day. And they drew the picture, and I was really surprised. Some of them even knew how to spell the words that, their emotions, excited. They didn't see it. I didn't write it on my paper, but they could spell it by themselves. And I was really impressed by that. But, and then I actually, whenever we were doing our projects, one of the kids pointed out a bulletin board in the room that was, the exact same thing we were doing. It was a bulletin board of the, feelings or something, how they felt at one point or something. It was just a picture of their face, and then, some of their mouths are open wide or something like that, and that's, their feelings. So it was it wasn't so good that they had already done the same project. But at the end, the teacher, we actually sat in a circle, and all the kids that were with me sat with me, and then all the kids who were with the other 2 girls in the room sat with them, and the teacher asked us to go around and just say what book we read and who it was by, so all the kids knew what other books were read to the class. And then we went over our projects or whatever, and I showed my book, and I was like, "Oh, I know you guys already read it," and the teacher was like, "You guys already read it?" And they're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, who'd you read it with?" And they're like, "Oh, Mrs. McCracken, I guess she's their student teacher." So she didn't know that they had already read it, so I guess there was no way that I could have avoided it. And I mean, I guess I could have maybe avoided the project if I had emailed her and asked her if it was a good idea, but looking back, I wish I would have done that. But I mean, they still seemed to enjoy it. They were really well behaved for me, and they did the project. And at the beginning, I was really afraid that after I got done reading the book at the beginning of the read aloud, I was 5 minutes into it. I looked at my computer and I was like, "Oh no, there's no way I'm going to make this last half an hour." But after we got done talking about the emotions, and then by the time we got the paper, or by the time they got the paper and they started drawing their emotions and how they're feeling and stuff, they took exactly half an hour. They were just putting the names in the back whenever the teacher said to put their stuff away. So that worked out really well. Yeah, they also, I don't know. But overall, I just think it went really well. I just wish that I would have maybe known or not read this book, which I had never heard of the book before, so I didn't think it was that popular book. I found it at Barnes & Noble one day whenever I was looking for a book for this, or for my reading diary, I can't remember. something, and I thought it would be really good for a first grade classroom, and they'd really enjoy it. But I think overall they still enjoyed it. They said they had fun, and whenever the professor was the teacher was asking them about like in the circle about what they did and if they had fun and stuff, they seemed to say that they had a lot of fun, and the pictures turned out really well. I was really impressed. So overall, I think it went really well.